Right, I should be live now. Hello everyone, it is Liam here. Let me just try and get this. For some reason this is really not working very well. I'm just trying to get Sky's Go set up on my computer so I can watch the race with Dad on the computer and not have to watch it on the phone. Because if I watch it through in a different room then it won't work. So it's really annoying because it's, oh there we go, it's finally loaded. I'm going to have to turn the volume down. In fact, no, I'll have the desktop audio off now anyway, so it should be fine to watch this. Sky Sports F1 and click play. Right, so I'll be back in a minute. Hopefully, should be working on the stream. So yeah, I'll be back.
Straight at the back, Mistral straight as well, where the wind is blowing in the drivers' faces as they head towards Scene Corner. It's a tailwind down into turn one. You've got to watch your braking, just like Sebastian Vettel needed to in 2018 when he hit Valtteri Bottas, spun the Mercedes round and picked up a penalty for his troubles. And what about Pierre Gasly and Esteban Ocon, two Frenchmen crashing out on the first lap of their home Grand Prix in that very same year? Daniel Ricciardo and Lando Norris are teammates now. They were battling for 7th place in 2019.
Sorry about that, everyone.
But picked up 2 penalties and eventually.
So yeah, we've got the French Grand Prix, and it's going to be an interesting one to say the least. So soft, fastest, medium, balanced, hard, the hardest. So here we go. Oh, feck. So Verstappen on pole position. And Hamilton is next to him. Don't worry, it's not clickbait, everyone. My dad will be joining us. You'll just join in a couple of minutes. So, I'll be back again in a minute. I gotta go get something. 2 things. My dad and my phone. Right, there we go. Sorry, everyone. I'll just connect these since I won't be using this anyway.
Yuki Tsunoda, who starts on the pit lane after the...
Here we go. So I've turned the volume down. It's going to be a dry race, unfortunately. Yes, sad face. It's going to be dry. Sorry, I can't read chat at the moment. I'm just getting everything, as I've said, set up. I'm going to wait for my Wi-Fi to connect. So it'll take about a minute. So sorry if I haven't read any of your chat yet. Dad will join in a minute. He is just finishing up watching the Moto GP downstairs. So, yeah, let me just get this stream up. I've got 1 viewer, that's fine. I'm just gonna get, in fact, I think this should be fine. I'll just turn the volume right down. On this, it is down. Airplane mode and battery saving mode. So yeah, we're getting ready for the formation lap, everyone. And Dad has just arrived. Unfortunately, the camera is going to be in a very bad position, so it'll be difficult to see both of us at once. But we can turn the volume up, Dad, because desktop audio is turned off for the streaming settings, so we should be able to watch this just fine. So everyone apart from Ocon, Vettel, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Mazepin and Stroll are on mediums, as the mentioned drivers there are on hard tyres. So I've got the stream chat up here, 2 people watching, and I'm going to plug in my phone right over there so I can charge it without people seeing the wire. I'm a genius. Right, they're on the formation lap right now.
Go, go, go!
Dad's the MotoGP guy, I'm the F1 guy, basically. In a way. Dad knows more about MotoGP than me, but I know more about F1 than him. I think that's a fact that's quite well known by now. I'm just seeing, this is a very difficult camera to get in position. There we go, I think that's right. Should be about right. There we should be good. Is it good? And just wait for the replay to finish. There's quite a big delay on it, so that's a lot of adjusting there, and yeah, they still can't see it.
That's okay. It's only a minute. That's all that matters.
There we go. And is that good? That should be good. There we go. And there's the chat. I think what I'll do is I'll put it up like. No, it's fine. I can put it up like that. The chat will stay on the screen. So, I'm just having a look. I think.
Just leave it. It's fine.
Camera should be good. Yep, there we go. Of course that happened. Silly me, sorry, not silly dad, silly me. And that's too low. Perfect. Right, I'll set up a little bit, and there we go. So there's Bottas. I'm so glad that we managed to get all those problems sorted out. But turn the volume up a little bit. Dad's just watching the replay now, and it's quite funny. It's quite funny. Hopefully you shouldn't be able to hear the audio. There we are. Hello. I can adjust where each. Yeah. So that's Gasly who's behind Sainz. So heading round towards the final corner, of the formation lap. Because this is on the PC, it's probably a bit delayed. I'll go full screen for that. There we go. And then eventually the main.
Christian Horner looking anxious, I would say. Did you say he's looking a bit anxious?
I mean, it's Christian Horner. It's Christian Horner, Dad. So, there we go. That's better. Now we haven't got a menu. There's Zach Brown, who will be he'll probably be heading
25 degrees in France.
After the race is finished. He'll probably be heading to America as soon as possible to get to the IndyCar race. He probably won't be able to get there on time though, so I can imagine he'll just watch it in his hotel room. There's Toto Wolff wearing his yeah, so you noticed starting from pit lane because of his incident in qualifying. So yeah. There's Verstappen. I always get nervous before the start of a race, but there's Lance Stroll who's the last car that's actually on the grid, because obviously someone started from the pit lane. And there is the Aston Martin safety car right behind Lance Stroll, who's obviously the Martin F1 driver. I've got to make sure not to bang the desk. There we go, that's good. But here we are. Green flags being waved at the back by the marshals. We've got 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights.
And away we go.
And it's lights out, and away we go. It's a good start there from
the Ferrari's getting
from Verstappen. Hamilton's second is turn 1. Bottas is trying to find a. And Verstappen's wide. Hamilton takes the lead. Verstappen's lost the lead. Now Sainz is on the tail of Perez. He's going to try and make a move around the outside. It's not going to pay off. Gasly's looking for the inside, and I think this race is going to be. And that's a few cars running a bit wide. No, it's not. It's just Schumacher, I think. Tsunoda loses hardly any time because everyone's in a bit of a traffic jam. But Hamilton leads from Verstappen due to Verstappen making an error at the start of the race, and at the moment, well, to put it simply, it's what you would expect in 2020, not in 2021, and that is Lewis Hamilton leading by about a second or so from Max Verstappen, and it's checkers in a way. It's Mercedes, Red Bull, and then Gasly's in a Ferrari sandwich with Sainz 5th and Leclerc 7th. Alonso's had a good start in 8th, but here comes Alonso attacking Leclerc. And Leclerc just about staying ahead. Current Ferrari driver v former Ferrari driver, and here's Daniel Ricciardo, who growing up was a Ferrari fan, so that matches quite well, doesn't it? And just behind Daniel Ricciardo is his teammate Lando Norris, who's had a very poor start in comparison to the drivers in front of him, including his teammates, although they are fighting away, and this is not what Zach Brown or Andrea Seidel will be wanting in this race, as they're going to make sure that they are not having a collision. Verstappen's incident has been noted.
Did he come back on the track at the right position?
He did.
After the ball hours?
He did. So Hamilton leads from 1.5 seconds, but I can imagine Verstappen will try and crawl that gap back up, and he's already beginning to. Alonso and Leclerc battling away for 7th place, and at the moment it is... and that's wide. That's Norris, a bit wide there. He's had to slowed down a little bit. He's let Ricciardo through ahead of him again, but the gap is already beginning to form. And who's quicker than who in this race? Hamilton and Verstappen are matching each other's pace. Hamilton says there's no grip out here due, and I can say that that's due to the wet conditions. Of course, earlier on in the Formula 3 race, it was a full wet race. By the end of it, however, it was dry enough for dries, and that's why it's so dirty and gripless, as Hamilton said. Is gripless a word?
Oh, there's Hamilton going round.
No, Vettel
going round.
Vettel passed Ocon.
Ocon, yeah.
And that's
11th.
Yeah, Vettel's taken.
Yeah. And Norris.
Not Norris. He's taken Ocon, and Ocon has just not got the straight line speed of that Aston Martin. He's got the slipstream. He's gonna go for it again. He can't do it though. There's just no chance of you getting past through there. Meanwhile, the two Alfa Romeos are just being Alfa Romeo. No one's talking about them, and they're just behind the Alpines in 13th and 14th. Raikkonen's had a very good start in comparison to the likes of George Russell and Mick Schumacher, who have had shocking starts. Although, to be fair, Mick Schumacher's qualifying position was very suspect. Tsunoda's had a good start. He's gone from the pit lane to 17th, and Stroll's already making up places following the fact that he could not get a lap in qualifying. However, due to the fact that he was quick enough in practice, the stewards have let him race, even though he only set one time and it wasn't even competitive. But Verstappen sets fastest lap, 1.4 seconds. We're on lap 3 of 53, and at the moment it is Lewis Hamilton leading the race. However, Verstappen is beginning to crawl back that gap slowly but surely. I'm just going to have a look. That works. So yeah, this was the replay. Into turn when Verstappen goes, and he just...
he twitched for some reason.
His car twitched, and yeah, he did everything right through there. That you could do. There was bollards, but it was really difficult to see them from that camera shot due to the amount of colours that there are, and it's really difficult to get all three of them to get both of us in the same shot.
Here we go. Here's
but this is
don't worry about it.
This is Verstappen's onboard at the start.
Right, let's see this first left-hander.
So
to get the oversteer.
He brakes and then that and he does go around the bollards. I couldn't keep the car under control, so I couldn't turn to the right. So I think what he means is he tried to save the counter steer, but he ended up he couldn't turn left and then right, so he just went straight on. He had to go right. Hamilton ended up taking the lead, and he's still holding it now. Although I doubt he will be keeping it for very long, because Verstappen's looking very quick out on the track, and this race is so boring that they're already showing extremely long replays to make up for it. This is Daniel Ricciardo's replay at the start. He had a good start, unlike his teammate Lando Norris, who got jumped by both Alonso and by his teammates. And this is Ricciardo going around the outside, and he had a little peek at Leclerc as well. But then obviously Alonso's on the outside, so that's not going to work out. So then there's Norris running off the track. He has nowhere to go, so he has to. And that could be. Actually, no, he did go around the right way. So, and at the moment, Hamilton keeping pace with Verstappen. Russell's really struggling. He's battling away with Mick Schumacher, and he's behind his teammate Nicholas Latifi, which is a very rare occurrence. I'm trying to have it turn more on you than me. There we go. That's better. That should be better. But yeah, I don't know. There we go. Moved it more that way now. Both of us should be on camera. Yeah, we should both be on camera now. So yeah, Hamilton still leads 1.2 seconds now. It's coming down. The gap slowly but surely coming down. And
Sainz is third or fourth?
Fifth. He's fifth. There we go. Hang on. There we go. Yay! It's working. It's actually working. I don't know how that's managed to work, but it has. Anyway, Leclerc's closing right up to Pierre Gasly. He's looking to have a go on his, well, I think it's his best friend anyway. I mean, in terms of other racing drivers, then definitely yes, but it might not be his best friend. I mean, his brother Lorenz might be, but anyway, Gasly just under a second ahead of Leclerc, and this is what happened with Mazepin. Not Schumacher. And what a surprise, he shoves him and leaves him without road. This is a replay, and yeah, he just doesn't leave him any room there. I mean, at least leave your teammate a bit more space than that, Mazepin. And that's the only way he's going to get ahead of
4 seconds ahead of him now.
Yeah, because of that. Poor old Mick, he got shoved out there by his teammate, who is an absolute, well, I'm not even going to say the word. But Hamilton is, he's looking a bit quicker than Verstappen at the moment.
He's easing away, isn't he? But up to 1.7 now.
Yeah, but balance is a disaster, is what Gasly is saying to his AlphaTauri mechanics, his engineer, of course, as well. So I think at the pit stops they'll be trying to change the balance of the car if they can. He could do it while out on track, but it would be quite difficult while racing against the likes of Leclerc, as Sainz has pulled a little bit further away. Perez is in a bit of no man's land, and Verstappen yet again closing up in the final few corners to Hamilton. Not enough though to get DRS at the moment. However, he hasn't gotten to the DRS detection point. I think he has now, so I still don't think he'll get DRS. But Leclerc, by the looks of things, will on Gasly. He's under 8 tenths behind, and at the moment he is doing a very good job. As not much is really happening. It's typical Paul Ricard, isn't it? I mean, I could turn the volume up as Verstappen, Bottas now sets fastest lap.
Second supporting role.
Yeah, Bottas almost in the DRS circle.
And
that fast
yeah,
as
you
that.
could see that
Almost
Bottas
within
is
the 1
in the number 2
second. There
role.
are 2 of them around here.
Yeah,
Split at the field, isn't it? Apart from Sainz and Gasly.
I think Sainz,
Leclerc,
Gasly, and
that's-
Leclerc. Yeah, everyone else
These
is.
3 there.
Actually, Alonso and Ricciardo as well are quite close together, and Ocon and Giovinazzi and Raikkonen. But other than that, everyone else has got a bit of distance to each other.
What's your strategy on tyres, Liam?
One stop as per fucking usual. I mean, it's so boring these days with the tyre strategies. But Verstappen,
Are the front runners all on the same?
yeah, everyone in the top 10's on the same. Verstappen's just outside of a second of Hamilton, 1.1 and a half. Now it's up to 1.3, and this is these tyres are. I don't think they're going to last as long as you're expecting. Typical Hamilton.
Yeah.
Anyway, let's just if Hamilton mentions the tyres, let's just ignore it from now on. Ricciardo is right behind Alonso, who he's I guess you could say he's followed in a similar path because he's been to Renault and then he's been to McLaren, but he's not followed the exact. Hang on a second. Ricciardo almost has followed the exact same path as Alonso, apart from being at Red Bull. Because Alonso made his debut at Minardi, which is near Toro Rosso, and that's where Ricciardo debuted at. AlphaTauri, sorry. And yeah, but that was later on in his career, because then he went to Renault. Ricciardo obviously went to Red Bull and then Renault, and then Alonso went to McLaren for a year, and then McLaren's got
Bottas the
Ricciardo.
fastest lap now, there we go.
Yeah, this is the top 3 are setting each other's paces. They're lapping very similarly. It's really difficult to pick who's out of all of them, who's the fastest, and pick a decisive person. Bottas at the moment has fastest lap, only by 1/10 of a second though. It's so close. The margins between the top 3, 2.5 seconds between the top 3, and then you've got another 4.5 seconds to Perez, who's again in no man's land. He's just there in case strategy calls and that sort of thing. Sainz is in 5th, and he's a second clear of Gasly, and at the moment Leclerc is second behind Gasly as well. And then in 8th place you have Fernando Alonso and Daniel Ricciardo, who are basically having the only meaningful battle on the track for 8th place. And then you've got Lando Norris behind him, and then you've got Sebastian Vettel off of his podium in Baku. Bottas team radio.
Getting the encouragement.
So Bottas's engineer Ricky is saying you're doing a good job. Just keep the pace that you're going at the moment. As it stands, Bottas would be up to 5th in the championship. But that's still pretty poor for a Mercedes. This track is going to be extremely. This race is going to be really bad, isn't it? I mean, we're 8 laps into a 53 lap race, and already there's not much happening. As it stands, however, Hamilton would take the championship lead back from Verstappen, despite Hamilton having 2 disastrous races in a row. But then again, Verstappen did have one race where he had an absolute disaster through no fault of his own, of course, because Pirelli decided to screw up the way they did their tyres.
Was it a Pirelli issue? Or did they admit fault? Or admit liability?
They're refusing to say they were at fault. They're saying that Red Bull and Aston Martin didn't put the load enough on their tyres, which is a lie. I think it's a lie anyway, because why would Red Bull and Aston Martin put less load? They could hardly gain any more performance from that. There's only 4 drivers that are in DRS, and that of another car, and that's Ricciardo, Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, 5, sorry, Stroll, no 6, Tsunoda and Russell. Tsunoda just got inside of 1 second, which was why I said it was one less than what it was. But here comes Ricciardo. He can't get past Alonso. You have to say he's doing a decent job in that Alpine, considering he's come back after a whole year out of 2 years out of Formula
Vettel's
1.
closing on Norris. Vettel's now soon be within DRS.
Right, so Hamilton is starting to pull away a little bit more from Verstappen.
He's talking rubbish. Oh, this is that next thing. He's got no 12.8 seconds, nothing wrong with your tyres.
As I said, we're not going to talk about him talking about tyres. Because unless he pits, we're not talking about it. Because if we talk about it, we're just going to have an argument, like the one we're having right now.
Vettel's closing up on Norris.
Yes, he is, and Norris is unable to close up on Ricciardo. So that's going to be a battle for the last point of the day between McLaren and Aston Martin. Ferrari are going to be absolutely loving this because they are running in 5th and 7th place right now. Meanwhile, McLaren are only getting 3 points, which is less than Sainz is alone. Because by my calculations, Ferrari will be 15 points ahead of McLaren after this race. As things stand, of course, things obviously will change in this race due to the due to the fact that it's a Grand Prix. Anything can happen. Poor Mick though, he got shoved out by Mazepin, and I think he's just got no pace, despite the fact that he made Q2. I mean, I don't know how Mick's that far back. Anyway, Ricciardo's not going to get close enough to pass Alonso this lap anyway.
Alpine's got some pace.
Yeah, the Renault engine's a bit quicker this year. Stroll just got past Kimi Raikkonen, and he's going to be looking to get past Raikkonen's teammate Antonio Giovinazzi next. He's going to be looking to catch up to his teammate. Of course, the one on-track overtake we don't even get to see it. Pardon me, sorry everyone. We don't get to see it. Of course, that happens. It's typical French TV directors. You know, like Monaco. Like the Stroll replay. Oh god, that was bad. That was bad. Still 1.8 seconds. Absolutely. Just...
It doesn't look like 1.8 seconds, does it? Because look as if they're very similar apart. Bottas is gaining, look, 1.3.
1.4. I wouldn't say he's gaining. I think they're all just matching each other on pace. And then now you got Perez, who's he's
got DRS.
Perez is
Sainz.
No, he hasn't. That's Gasly. That's Gasly, Dad. I think you're gonna need to be Specsavers. I'm serious. Perez is like 4 seconds behind Bottas. He's in no man's land. Oh, not another Lance Stroll replay. Oh, right. It's a good thing this time. The one overtake we didn't get to see live. It's a good overtake. I mean, it's alright, I guess. I mean, it means more because it's Paul Ricard and it's impossible to pass around here. It's basically Monaco 2.0 without the barriers. Look at that haze shot though, it's lovely. Hamilton...
25 degrees it is now.
Hamilton leading by 1.5 seconds. Verstappen looks quicker in the high-speed corners. And yep, right, let's just right, Verstappen, he's losing a bit of time he's gaining time, sorry, at the start of the final sector, but by the end of it he's lost the time he gained. Because the Mercedes is good in slow speed, Red Bull is good in high speed. Which is why Mercedes are looking a bit quicker at the moment than the Red Bulls are. So we're on lap 11 almost of this race, and it'll be 11 in a second now, and boom, lap 11, and Hamilton leading by nearly 2 seconds now. Bottas actually speaking truth, saying that the graining that he has isn't losing him grip, and yeah, At least he's saying that it's not losing in grip, and like Hamilton was just saying, I can imagine they've cut off a part of the team radio to make it sound different to what it actually is. He's probably said tyres are graining, but they're not affecting me that much. But Leclerc is just inside of a second of Gasly. I mean, look how far ahead Hamilton is. That Red Bull should be aiming in a straight line, and I think it is, but in these sort of corners, and like the chicanes and those sort of corners, the Red Bull just isn't as fast as the Mercedes. But on the high speed, like the corners coming up now, they are quicker. I mean, you'll see the gaps gain on both Mercs.
He's closer this time.
And here comes Ricardo on Alonso down the inside. He's hit the chicane and a bit of
McLaren's ready to pounce as well.
Yeah, he hit the curb on the chicane and it looked like there was a bit of spark coming out of his front wing. But here comes Alonso. He's keeping up with him. But Lando Norris has now joined the fight, and potentially Seb Vettel might as well. And,
wow!
Norris gets Alonso as well. And that is a good move from Norris there. Alonso losing a lot of ground. Leclerc 8 tenths behind Gasly, and now,
as well.
I was about to say now Vettel's there. Vettel's catching up to his old championship rival from 2010 and 2012. Both of them now, of course, in slightly slower cars than they were in those days. In terms of car performance, in terms of car speed, then they're quicker, but you get what I mean. Both Alonso and Vettel have DRS, so I don't think Vettel's going to get him on this straight. And Perez has gone off the track somewhere, I think, because briefly Perez was ahead of Bottas, so Perez must have run a bit wide. And this is a replay of Ricciardo's move on Alonso. It's a good move. He dummies it and he goes for it. As I said, he hits the curb quite heavily. Bit of spark comes off of the front wing, but he makes the move. Doesn't look to be any damage. And yeah, you can see there the sparks under the tyres. And this is when Lando caught up. And look at this. That's the dirty air effect that Alonso got from Ricciardo there. And this is when Ferrari are going to start to get a little bit unhappy, because McLaren are starting to gain ground again in this race. But Hamilton 2 seconds clear still of Verstappen. They're keeping pace with each other, like in the MotoGP race with Oliveira and Marques. And Bottas has lost quite a bit of ground to Verstappen in the last few laps.
Yeah, he's 1.3, he's lost a second.
Yeah, he's lost a second in the last few laps. The gap started to come back up. Perez is catching up a little bit to Bottas, and Sainz is a whole 12 seconds back, which is what you expect, because the Red Bull and the Mercs are the only top cars. Well, then again, until up to the Baku podium, and you could even say the Monaco podium as well. But street circuits are where there's going to be...
Sainz is 12 seconds behind Perez.
I mean, that's what you expect.
Horrendous.
But that's the thing, they're midfield cars at certain tracks. At certain tracks, they're top cars. It's just the way Formula 1 runs. I mean, this track Mercedes looks just as good as Red Bull in race trim so far, and Red Bull looks slightly worse than what they regularly would be. Vettel keeping up with Alonso and is one of only 4 drivers that are within DRS of the driver in front of them. Now it's 5 because Leclerc just got inside of a second of Gasly. As I was speaking there, he was outside of a second. But yeah, Leclerc doesn't get DRS. Sainz a lot more degradation than anyone anticipated. Now that I can agree with Sainz because it makes sense. But here comes Vettel down the inside. Beautiful move.
Done. Well done, Seb.
Well done from Sebastian Vettel there. More well done than a chicken dinner on a roast Sunday. Absolutely beautiful move there. Russell gets past Latifi as well. For once we actually got 2 overtakes in 1 lap.
So Vettel's into points.
Yeah. And Stroll's right on the tail of Giovinazzi. I think Stroll could be up against Giovinazzi here.
Vettel's lost a lot of time being stuck behind Alonso.
Yeah, 2 seconds to Norris. He was about a second and a bit back, so he's lost about half a second, maybe a bit more, because he's been stuck behind Alonso for the last lap or 2. And now Ocon's going to catch up to Alonso, and this is when the degradation is about to kick in for every single team. This is Bottas. His replay. This is lap 12. Ah, so it was Bottas that went off the track. It wasn't Perez, it was Bottas that went off the track. Because I saw that Perez was briefly ahead of Bottas. Then Bottas was back ahead again, and that was why. Perez 3 seconds now behind Bottas. He is closing up. Stroll past Giovinazzi, Alonso Team Radio. And Alonso. And Alonso saying Plan B, and he's also saying that everyone else around him is probably struggling with the degradation, but not as much as he is. And they're going to Plan B, which I'm guessing is going to be going as short as possible into this race and then switching to hards. But here comes Daniel Ricciardo and Charles Leclerc, and this is a bit of a shock. And look at that. Through goes Daniel Ricciardo, and how did that happen? Oh, they closed up in the space of like 2 seconds. How? What happened there? I swear Leclerc's got some sort of issue because he is not running that fast. And finally, they figured out that Russell had passed Latifi. Well done, geniuses. That happened about 2 laps ago. Seriously. How is... Leclerc must be having a lot of bad pace to be behind Ricciardo that quickly. He's already a second outside of that window. I wonder, is Leclerc going to come in soon? Yeah, he does. I predicted that very correct. And Leclerc into the pits. And he's going to switch from the mediums to the hards, and he's going to go to the end of the race. 38 laps on these tyres. It actually might be quite a challenge to get to the end of this race because of how high the tyre degradation is, and strategies are going to have to be changed. But then again, they've got about 1 million different strategies ready. That's not a great stop from Ferrari. It's around 3 seconds, I'm guessing. And he's going to come out right at the back of the pack, behind even Mick Schumacher, who's 6 seconds behind teammate Nikita Mazepin. Or will he? I think, will he be behind Schumacher? No, he won't. He'll be just ahead of Schumacher on the pit exit.
6 seconds ahead of him.
No, it'll come down because it's just updating. I think it's about 3.5 seconds, 3 seconds. And Leclerc's immediately going to close up to Mazepin and pass him pretty quickly. But there's Ricciardo having a little look at Pierre Gasly. Ferrari need to hope that this undercut for Leclerc works out, because if it doesn't, and Daniel Ricciardo saying, swear word, no, when his engineer, Will Joseph, was saying that ahead of him is the AlphaTauri of Gasly, as Leclerc has now cleared Mazepin, and is already about a second clear of him. And in the Live Constructors Championship, absolutely nothing changes. The only thing that's changed is the first 2 digits, and that's it, on both teams. It's gone from 90, no, the first digit, sorry. Because it's gone from 92 and 94 to 102 and 104. And Bottas being told to keep pushing and watch the front left tyre, and this is Leclerc getting past Mazepin. I wonder how he passed him yet. I mean, that's just a regular move, isn't it? From Leclerc. As far as I can tell, no one's put anything in the chat yet. We've got 2 people watching. Hello to whoever it is that's watching. I think there might be an issue with the chat. And Tsunoda's had his pit stop, and he has got a 2.7 second pit stop. I do want to check if the chat function's working, because I haven't seen anyone put anything in the chat. I'm just going to check that it is. Hi. Yeah, there we go, it's working.
Stroll's right behind Alonso now as well, isn't he? It's off on.
And it's... oh, there we go.
Is the message to Valtteri Bottas. Lance.
And Bottas has been told to bring it. When he means bring it, he means bring it. Catch up to Verstappen and become the ultimate number 2. Rubens, you're still better than him. Oh, we've had a bit of connection issues there. Just gotta put on mobile data on my phone, and then we will be... oh, and I think I know that there is actually an issue with the stream with chat. No, there's not. I was just checking if there isn't, because I can see my own message, so I should be fine. But yeah, Bottas is still 2.7 seconds back from Verstappen, and Ricciardo in the pits. This is going to be interesting to see where he comes out in relation to Leclerc, since Leclerc has got quite a bit of pace. And Ricciardo is boxed to overtaking Gasly. Now, I wonder, that was a good pit stop.
That was a good pit stop.
However, where is Charles Leclerc? That is the ultimate question, right? There's the two Williams cars. Where's Charles Leclerc? There he is. And Leclerc's come out ahead. And Leclerc has done the ultimate undercut and he's jumped 2 cars. Hang on, I'm just checking that the stream's still working. Because, yeah, there we go. The stream's still working, it's just pure Wi-Fi. Anyway, so at the moment, Leclerc would be in the same place that he was in before the pit stop. Well, not the same place, but he'd be 2 places. He would be where he was before the McLarens overtook him. And at the moment, the Alpine's having a little battle, and as a result, Lance Stroll's getting involved in on the action. I have to say, so far, this hasn't actually been that bad a race. In comparison with some other French Grand Prix, it's actually been alright. And here comes Bottas into the pits. He's doing probably a similar thing to Ricciardo, to Leclerc. He's going to do an undercut and see if he can box to overtake Verstappen. It's a good stop from Merck, and it's 2.5 seconds. Red Bull could probably go quicker than that, knowing the fact that it's Red Bull, but you never know. Here comes Carlos Sainz. Where's Bottas going to come out watching Sainz? He said his engineer said something will be critical. I didn't catch the first part of it. Sainz and Gasly are both in as well. Now, I think Norris should follow them in. If he doesn't, then no, he hasn't. He hasn't. That's very surprising, because Norris should be trying to do as much of a. And oh, that's not a great pit stop from AlphaTauri. 3 seconds, and he comes out a bit further behind. Where's Charles Leclerc though? That's the Williams. There's Leclerc, and Leclerc has jumped all of them. Sainz has been absolutely done by Ricciardo, and Red Bull are going to be hoping and praying that doesn't happen to them with Verstappen. They'll be keeping an eye on this battle here, and they'll be thinking about, oh, right, the undercut's very powerful around here. Should we try and undercut Hamilton? And I think that will be Red Bull's plan. If they don't pit Verstappen in this lap, then in my opinion that's a very bad idea, because they need to find a way to catch up to Hamilton with Verstappen.
Verstappen has to pit.
And yeah, Martin Brundle's saying the same thing. And yeah, Verstappen's into the pits. Leclerc has now cleared Latifi, and Ricciardo's going to have to do the same thing in 1 lap or so's time. Verstappen should come out without traffic. He might come out, however, behind Bottas. I don't think he will, because that was a very, very smooth pit stop. However, Bottas does set a very good sector there. Verstappen has... Oh, it's going to be close. Bottas has just come out the last corner now. And Verstappen should be out ahead. He is.
Good.
But it's a very small gap though. It's a very small gap. Verstappen's got to go very hard on his, and he's got to push very hard if he wants to catch up to Hamilton and overtake him. Pete Bono said hammer time Lewis. That's Hamilton's engineer, Peter Bonington. And Alonso into the pits. Bottas with the fastest sector 3, and they've realised that the undercut is very powerful, every single team. And Norris, I think, is going to miss out on a lot here. And Vettel's running a very good race as well, I'd like to point out. Sebastian Vettel and Lance Stroll have had a very good race so far for Aston Martin. Stroll's at the bottom end of the top 10, despite having to start from 19th on the grid. And after the pit stops, he'll be about 11th or 12th place. And Hamilton to radio. So Hamilton's coming in on this lap. Verstappen's closed up about a second on him, and Perez, by the looks of things, could be coming in as well. However, this is going to be down to pit stop speed, not how quick the drivers have been up by themselves. Stroll's just passed Esteban Ocon, who's now down to 8th. And how fast is the pit stop? A good pit stop, 2.2 seconds. Now, where is Verstappen going to be? There's Checo Perez, but where is Max Verstappen? It's going to be close. Where is Verstappen? He's just come out the last corner. He's on the main straight now, and you'll see him about now. And
he's going to pass him. No,
he's not. Or is he?
He's going to pass him. He's going to pass him.
And
He's got him.
And Verstappen down the inside. Verstappen takes the lead. Net lead is Max Verstappen's. And that's
How did that happen?
Because Mercedes decided to do an absolutely stupid call and pit Bottas before Hamilton. And that has not paid off for Mercedes. Beautiful strategy from Red Bull. And they really paid attention to what the midfield cars were doing there with their undercuts. And do you know who pioneered it? Ferrari. Because they did the undercut first of anyone with Leclerc, and he jumped everyone that was in front of him up until the actual front runners themselves. And Toto Wolff is going to be devastated. Now, Perez is going to be interesting as well, because he has to come out ahead of Norris. But then again, Norris hasn't pitted yet, so really Perez is just going to be running in fourth, doing the job that Red Bull want him to do, and that is just finishing in fourth, keeping the results consistent. And Perez should come out ahead of Norris if he did pit on this lap. I can imagine Norris and Vettel will both pit, and Mercedes will really much be ruining that mistake in the strategy. Hamilton Team Radio. And Bono said he's not sure what happened there. The pit stop was clean, it was purely because of the strategy. They went one lap too long. If they went one lap less long, then they would have come out ahead and in the lead.
How many seconds more? Obviously, he must have gained 2 seconds that lap.
Yeah.
Verstappen on the harder tyres.
Yeah, they had very similar lap time. But to be fair, Hamilton coming out of the pit lane wasn't particularly fast. I don't know if he was going a bit too slow in the pit lane, because Verstappen did not gain 3 seconds on him. He only gained a second and a half, I think. And he was about 2...
Was it 2.1 or 2.2 ahead, was he?
I think he might have been a bit more than that. So it must have been...
He was probably half a second quicker in the pit stop alone, was he?
No? It could have been in the pit lane, the speed in the pit lane.
What you mean from the point of going into the pits, or the point of leaving the restrictor and going out of the pits?
I think both in a way, because if you combine both of them together, then it's about the same. But here comes Hamilton's keeping up with Verstappen, but Verstappen should have it for now because of his fantastic engine that Honda have built for this year. Poor corner personally for Hamilton, in my opinion. He ran a bit wide. That might be just the regular line that they take. 8 tenths is now the gap, and Verstappen should be able to keep that gap through here. Although saying that, it is coming down a little bit. Just under 7 tenths, as you can see there. It's around about 7 tenths.
When's Checo going to go in the pit?
You'll have to, well, I think, did Perez start on the hards? It's on the mediums. I think he started on the mediums, so he'll be going for a few more laps, and then I think the main goal for Perez is just to push at the end of the race on softer tyres, if he can. But I wonder. I am wondering what Red Bull are doing with Perez. I do think that the McLaren, Aston Martin, and Red Bull are all doing the same thing with McLaren with Norris. Oh. And I think Verstappen's engineer was telling him what to do, and he was wanting a bit of quiet because obviously he needs to focus, because it's, I mean, imagine racing a Formula 1 car over 200 miles an hour with G's, with massive G's, and you just have someone talking in your ear constantly. It can probably get quite annoying. But Ricciardo's closing right up to Leclerc, so here comes Ricciardo and Leclerc. That'd be lovely, yeah. Right, so yeah, Dad's left the room for a few minutes. It's back to just me. Bonjour, everyone. Bonjour. I'm just gonna get comfortable again. Leclerc is within a second of Kimi Räikkönen, so Leclerc should be able to hang on, although his car is not particularly fast in a straight line in comparison to that McLaren. But they're going down the Mistral straight now, and Leclerc should be able to get past the Alfa Romeo. 4 tenths, 2 tenths, and he will be passed in 3, 2, 1, boom. Leclerc up into the points again, and he's past Räikkönen. When's Ricciardo going to get past, though, is the question. And this is when Ferrari's strategy has paid off, because of all the traffic that happens. Räikkönen and Ricciardo obviously side by side, just like they were in 2019. And Verstappen's really pulled away from Hamilton here, 1 second. Bottas is looking quicker, but Räikkönen held it around the outside of Ricciardo there. And Kimi Räikkönen, he may be the oldest driver on the grid, but he is well and truly still fighting for this spot. And he's having a fantastic battle with Ricciardo at the moment. Sorry about that, everyone. Sorry about that. I mean, there's probably like a clause in the contract of... Oh. There's probably like a clause in the Alfa Romeo contract that they have to do whatever Ferrari say in certain aspects, like team orders or they'll lose their engines. And Alfa Romeo, I mean, they've got a decent amount of money, but they've not got a load of it. Hamilton and Bottas are battling away. Ricciardo's finally gotten Raikkonen, but by the time he's done that, Leclerc is probably, he's like 1.5 seconds clear. And the reason why I said probably was because it didn't come up with the gap, and I was just guessing that he'd be over a second clear, and he was. And Leclerc's now going to try and catch up to Giovinazzi. Ricciardo will catch up to Leclerc again, but then he'll lose time again because they'll have another bit of traffic. So what Ricciardo's going to be hoping for is a big gap between the car after the one that Leclerc's about to pass, and that's not going to happen until... Oh, Sainz just got past Raikkonen. Basically, what I'm trying to say is Ricciardo will be wanting Leclerc to get held up, or he'll be wanting there to be no cars in front of him because Ricciardo's got better pace. But until Leclerc and Ricciardo both clear Ocon, that's not going to happen because it's over like 2.5 seconds between Ocon and Stroll, who are yet to pit, and Latifi's just got past Mazepin because Latifi had to pit, of course. But at the moment, Bottas team radio. And Mercedes are enjoying the fact that Bottas has got really good pace, and Leclerc is now within a second of Giovinazzi, and he should be able to get him on the Mistral straight coming onto this lap. And in fact, he'll probably be on the main straight now, actually, so you'll probably get him on the main straight. As Hamilton and Bottas are in a DRS stream with Verstappen. Hamilton did close up a little bit.
Verstappen's only 4 seconds, he's gained 6 seconds on Perez.
Exactly, because Perez is going long. I don't know why he's going long, but he is.
He loses so much time.
But not to Norris. That's the crucial bit. He's not losing time to Norris.
Is he in the same strategy as Norris?
Exactly. He's not losing time to Norris, and look at the gaps. He's going to be fine, because the closest driver to him that has pitted is Leclerc, and he is 15 seconds behind Norris. And if Perez pits now, he will come out around about Norris. So he's basically 15 seconds clear of Leclerc.
He's Vettel pitted?
No, he hasn't. Leclerc's just got past Giovinazzi for 9th. And,
Stroll is behind Vettel now.
There we go, that's better. Now we've got it turned around again, so you can see it. Both of us. Perez finally in the pits. And, let's see how quickly this pit stop is going to be. And that's a very good stop from Red Bull there.
That's quick.
2.1, I'm guessing?
No, 1.9. That was under 2 seconds.
Was it?
Definitely. That was just a phenomenal pit stop.
Yes, it was. Yes, it was. But where is he going to come out in relation to Norris? Norris is in as well, actually, so he would come out ahead of Norris anyway. I really want to know what that pit stop time was, though. They're not showing it. It was so fast that they're not showing it. No doubt that they'll show Norris's pit stop time. Yep, they did, and they didn't show Perez's.
Why?
Perez's pit stop was like 1.8 seconds.
I'm sure it was sub 2, it was rapid.
It was good. But, look, yeah, as I said, Perez is going to be about 15 seconds clear of Leclerc.
It's a pity you didn't remember what thing his pit stop was.
In fact, no, it's more than that, actually. It's 17, 21, 23 seconds, I think, to between Leclerc and Perez. That's a lot. But to be fair, yeah, that's midfield gap, I guess. So Leclerc will be running in 5th place, which is probably the best place he can be right now.
Hamilton's car's overheating.
Bottas a bit wide there. Hamilton keeping up with Verstappen, who's now back into the race lead. They're all still in DRS of each other, but because it's Paul Ricard, it's really tricky to pass. And only now are we heading halfway through the race. It's felt like a century. It's not like in Formula 3 when there's constant action.
Come on, Bottas, pass your teammate.
And Ricciardo and Giovinazzi, Ricciardo's just gotten rid of Giovinazzi, he's passed him, but he's still 1.5 seconds behind Leclerc. He's chasing Leclerc down, but it's impossible because there's moving chicanes in front of him, and mobile chicanes I should say, in front of him, and Leclerc is about to get past Ocon, and I think he will get past very, very soon. And this is Riccardo's onboard getting past Giovinazzi. And again, it's a decent overtake. And you can see Leclerc in front chasing down Ocon. And that's not even a replay. So those who are on the hards, like Lance Stroll and Sebastian Vettel, can now pit. So this is going to be when strategy becomes a key player in this race. However, I do think they'll go much longer than this on the hards, because then, if Vettel could be struggling on the hards, then how is he going to take mediums 27 laps? He's not Daniel Ricciardo at the 2019 Belgian Grand Prix doing the whole race on one tyre, pretty much, because of a first lap collision. But yet again, we're seeing Verstappen v Hamilton at Paul Ricard. It's almost as if at every track we see this. I mean, we didn't get it at Monaco, we did get it at Baku, and this is just, I think the Mercedes strategists are beginning to become more and more, I mean, they're getting worse with their strategies, in my opinion. But that's my opinion. But here goes Leclerc. He's on the straight. He's got his friend Esteban Ocon to pass, and he's passed him in the braking zone. And Sainz has got past Giovinazzi, and Norris has got past Raikkonen as well on that straight. So loads of action happening at once on the Mistral straight, and yet we're focused on the leaders who have got. Well, actually, to be fair,
Bottas has lost a bit of time there.
Yeah. Oh, Hamilton trying to have a peek at Verstappen there. Not enough though to get past. Why are they looking at this fight? There's much better battles going on at the bottom of the top 10 than this. Gasly now past Giovinazzi. Ricciardo should be past Ocon in any second now. And Leclerc's just got to push hard and get away from Ocon, which he's doing. He needs to get outside of a second of Ricciardo, and that is again what he's done. He's now 1.2 between him and Ricciardo, and Leclerc's going to be pushing as hard as he can to catch up to Lance Stroll and to Sebastian Vettel. And Leclerc is lapping, I'm pretty sure, the exact same pace as Sergio Perez at the moment, which is very strange because the gap before was 22 seconds and now it's about 23. So Leclerc's doing pretty decent on pace compared to Perez, and Ricciardo's just cleared Ocon, but he's a second back. And this is when Ricciardo's going to gain time on Leclerc, because there's clean air in front of Ricciardo, and he'll have an opportunity to show his skill. However, Leclerc is pushing as hard as he can. I think Leclerc knows that if he can catch up to Stroll before Ricciardo gets within enough of a gap to pass him, then he'll know that Ricciardo will get stuck behind Stroll for a wee while, unless they do a double pass, or one of them passes and then the other one follows through, like in what was it, Formula E, I think it was. And this is Gasly on Giovinazzi. And all the guys on the hard tyres that started on the hard tyres are really struggling in comparison to the guys that have started on the mediums. So, that is a replay. And that's Ricciardo getting past Ocon. And now Gasly's got past Ocon as I say that. And Sainz is within a second of Ricciardo, who's almost within a second of Leclerc. And look at that massive DRS train. You've got Norris, Ocon, Gasly, Sainz.
Oh, actually, wide, yeah.
No, that's the normal line that they take.
Is that the racing line?
That's the racing line, yeah. Norris has just cleared Ocon, so now it's a 3-car DRS train with Norris, Gasly and Sainz.
Max just not get the pace in the straight to catch him. He's catching under DRS, but he's not got the power to pass him.
Exactly.
Not yet, anyway.
Red Bull can afford to go low downforce because they've got loads of aero. They've got really good aerodynamics in the corners, but Mercedes don't. Their car in the corners is like a ship lost at sea, and Verstappen's is like a yacht which is on TV. I think that's the best way to put it. Both Red Bull is a car that's really good in the corners.
I'm surprised he's got told to hang back a bit. Either get past him or hang back a bit.
Exactly, because you're gonna
turbulent air, isn't he?
Exactly. And 8 tenths.
I think that's what's happened to Bottas. He's 2 seconds behind Hamilton now.
Because they've probably told him to back off a little bit and wait and be patient. Oh, Ricciardo's going to go for it on Leclerc any second now, and he's gotten past. And that is what we've been waiting for quite some time. And this is when the Aston Martins help out their fellow Mercedes engine cars and the McLarens, because they're not. Because Ricciardo wasn't closing up on Stroll, and neither was Leclerc. And Verstappen saying we cannot keep this up until the end of the race, that's for sure. When he means this, he means his car pace, and Norris has just got past Gasly and is closing up. No, he's not. Look at, oh, contact there. Gasly wide, so is Norris, but they're fine. And Norris he might have a bit of damage. It was very minor contact, but I do think that could have...
Did the tyres touch?
I think Gasly's front wing, the front wings touch each other, I think, so... Sainz will be wanting Leclerc to let him through because it looks like Sainz has more pace, but Ferrari have done absolutely fantastic with their strategy. Well, it looked like it a few laps ago, but now Ricciardo's been released into the wild.
Yep, there he goes.
And Sainz has gone through past Leclerc, and Leclerc...
Is he on a different strategy or something?
No, they're on the same strategy, it's just Leclerc pitted earlier than Sainz did, because he had no pace. And now that pace is beginning to become worse and worse again.
Aye, it's now becoming, how can you put it?
His tyres are getting worn.
She just went on 3 wheels, yeah? Was it my eyes? Not McLaren?
No, Dad, your eyes. It's definitely your eyes. It's definitely your eyes.
I thought he bounced off that curb with it on 3 wheels.
Yeah, Dad, I think he needs to go to Specsavers.
Go on, Lando. Go on, Lando.
Oh!
I thought you could put two of them there.
I thought he was going to go for Leclerc too. Oh, and Gasly's going to want to get back past him, and I think there's a chance he might because that Honda engine is fast. I'm right. Look at that. Gasly's keeping up with him. He's going to go for it again, Gasly. It looks like it anyway, but it's just the aero in the corners. The AlphaTauri doesn't have it compared to the McLaren. Verstappen pulling away. Hamilton team radio.
Copy.
Oh, they're all thinking of a 2-stop apparently. This could get really feisty.
Well, there you go. Wow, look at Norris passing Leclerc.
And I'm surprised Leclerc didn't come in on that lap. I'm very surprised.
Race control, what's happening here?
And the incident involving Norris and Gasly has now been noted.
Can you come, babes?
And so the action begins. Leclerc getting passed by Gasly now. He's being hounded. Absolutely hounded.
Oh, Leclerc's losing. Oh, Leclerc's walked up as well.
Oh.
Walked his left front up with a flat spot.
And now McLaren are going to be licking their lips because they can pass Ferrari now in this constructors fight. And this is what happened with Gasly and Norris. No contact like I thought, but he said he forced me off. He is ahead of him though, so those Ferraris are not looking that quick around here though.
They don't, do they? They've lost some pace. You want me to put it on? Well, Liam, let's put Santa hat on.
Yeah!
Oh.
I look like an absolute muppet, don't I?
Oh. Merry summertime.
Now, when is Hamilton going to pit in relation to Verstappen? Even a 1 lap undercut could be enough. Yeah, I'm just watching the replay of the stream. There we go. Sainz and Norris are battling away. And I wonder, if I do the math, 6, 8, 4. As it stands, McLaren would get ahead of Ferrari again by 2 points. You look so funny in that hat, little guy. You look so funny in that hat. Look at that though. F1 car, what noise do F1 cars make? Yeah, they do. Right, Luke, are you going to pretend that you're on board with the driver? Yeah, he's a very clever little guy because, and no investigation necessary. I agree with that. It was a racing incident, and neither of them hit each other, so just shoved him off the road by accident, and it wasn't even by that much as well. It's not as bad as it sounds. Schumacher will be ahead of Mazepin, by the way, and Norris past Sainz, and this is when McLaren can open the champagne bottles and celebrate good times because Leclerc's dropped down back past, and he's been passed by Alonso, and now this is when it gets even more interesting Because where is Hamilton going to pit? When is Hamilton going to pit? When is Verstappen going to pit? When's Bottas
Hamilton's
going to
now
pit?
dropped to 2.3, but we've not been noticing it.
And Bottas saying there's no chance of getting to the end of these tyres. I wonder, are they going to go into another set of hards? They probably will have to. Because I'm not sure, have the teams got any new sets available? They might.
That's Hamilton holding back, I think, because his car's overheating.
Or he's saving tyres. Can't wait for amazingly weird message to come up with some sort of tyre relief thing. Amazingly,
Fernando, he's passing the Ferrari. Oh, that's embarrassing.
Fernando Alonso, that's Charlie Leclerc. I have new tires and you don't. Score you, Alonso.
Better on the steering race.
Oh, and here's Red Bull, and Verstappen's going for the undercut. And this is when things get very, 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 very interesting. Oh, not a great pit stop there. Oh no, it's 2.5.
So who? That was mediums you put back on there.
Was it?
Yellows.
I'm surprised. Also, excited Mazepin again. Oh great, now Verstappen's gonna have Mazepin in his way. Oh god.
No, not too long.
It's Mazepin, Dad. It's Mazepin. He ignores blue flags for a living. See, look, he's probably getting waved blue flags right now, and he's not letting them through yet. Slow down, you moron. Thank you. Verstappen's going to come out ahead anyway. He's only 18 seconds behind him, and 19 seconds behind him, and it's like a 26-second pit stop. So it's Hamilton's not going to come out ahead, regardless of how, unless Verstappen's pace in the first lap is so slow. No biting your fingernails. No biting your fingernails, pal.
No.
You watching the F1?
No. No.
Alright, I was just kidding around with you. Anyway. Right. So the gap is 15, 19, yeah, still 19 seconds.
When's Vettel's still going to pit?
20 years away. I don't know, they'll probably pit in about 5 to 10 laps. And there we go, there's McLaren playing the team game. Quicker driver goes through to chase down the cars in front. Probably about 2 seconds, yeah, less than 2 seconds between Stroll and Norris. The Ferraris just cannot close on the Aston Martins.
What is it? It's a label.
Oh. Hamilton's rears are not good, but his fronts are okay. 25 seconds is the average time lost. Unless Verstappen has to, unless the top three are going to have to pit again. Perez might not actually have to pit again. Because he pitted so much later. Oh my goodness, I think Red Bull have just done a blinder on
If they two have to pit,
then that means it'll be 1-2 for Red Bull.
He's going to come out with 5 or 6 seconds behind him. Because 25 seconds is a pit stop.
No, it'll be more than that. 10 seconds maybe. 15, 16, that's about 17, yeah, about 7, 8 seconds. Verstappen's pit stop was alright, so...
The longer they leave it, the worse it's going to get.
Agreed, but then they'll have the undercut, so they can go on different tyres. However, I don't think there's any new sets of softs left, because they used them all in practice. And in qualifying 1 and qualifying 3. And there he goes, past Stroll. And Lando Norris up into 2nd place now. Pierre Gasly right behind Carlos Sainz. Is he going to be able to make the move? I don't think he will. And Hamilton still hasn't pitted yet. This has actually been a really good race. There's been lots of overtakes. And I'd say this is firmly up there, but Verstappen with the fastest lap, 1:36.7, and he's closing up quite a lot.
On Perezio.
His teammates. I can imagine Perez will play the teammate game and let Max through.
Understandable. He'll get told to let him through.
Exactly.
Because he's not in the race.
Well, he could be, because Checo might not have to pit again. There's a chance of that. And that means... Oh, and there goes Stroll into the pits. That's why you saw a green car flying very fast into the... in near the barrier.
Was it Stroll or Hamilton? Yeah, Stroll, yeah.
It was Stroll, yeah, because it was behind Norris. So.
Yeah, well, of course, there is the outside possibility. You know, I like a tall story, Crofty, that this was all an act by Lewis Hamilton. Actually, he's king tyre preservation as Lance Stroll just comes out of the pits.
He could be, but it'd be so difficult.
How much faster is Hamilton or is Vettel?
Lewis Hamilton actually.
There you go, it's good, well done, Checo. How
How
fast is Verstappen compared to Hamilton at the moment?
at least a second and a half, at least a second a lap quicker, but he's on mediums. Max is he's gonna have to take care of those tires at the end of the race, otherwise they're gonna be very,
What's he
very
got, 20
low.
laps to go?
With a younger tyre later.
Yeah, Perez almost left the stadium.
And Perez just let him go, which was very good, and I think Verstappen said thanks for that, because now Verstappen can get in clean air and push as hard as he can, of course discounting traffic.
Sergio's he's got DRS.
Oh, the race is on. Yeah, I think I'm right. I'm right in saying that Perez isn't going to pit again, because Perez is the master of saving tyres, Dad.
Ah, he's a good driver. He's a good driver.
So I think Sergio Perez could finish second or maybe even take the win here, because Verstappen's tyres will go off by the end of the race. All of Sergio Perez's successes have been because of one man, and it isn't even him, it's Kamui Kobayashi, because he taught him how to tyre save and be a master of it.
That week for my reefy now in people's houses.
And look at that, 2 seconds a lap quicker. I mean, I think we all know who's going to win this race as things stand.
20 laps to go. And how many seconds is it? 12.
By the end of this lap, it will probably be about 12.5 seconds. Gasly's finally going to get past Sainz. No, he's not. Sainz is doing a fantastic job at holding him off. Obviously, both of them formerly part of the Red Bull Academy. I mean, Gasly still sort of is in a way, but really he's just racing because for the sake of it.
The fuel load is obviously well down now as we get into towards the
I've
final
seen these
stages of the race.
Put that in there.
No.
Oh, is it still?
No, that thing.
Ah,
Yeah, it will catch.
that's what I was going to do. I was just going to put it in there when you
I'm
go
going
downstairs.
to a Sunday shift.
Oh, I've only got 1 week. I've only got 1 week until the holidays.
I know.
You've got to keep working. I feel for you, Dad. I feel for you. Verstappen really isn't closing up that much in what I thought he was. Oh, Gasly through. Is Sainz going to do a switcheroo? No, it's not. And that's Gasly through on Sainz. I wonder, are other teams going to trigger the two-stop strategy? I think they'll wait until there's about 10 laps to go, and then they'll go for the soft tyres. And that could be a race-winning strategy for some of these teams. What I mean by what I mean by race-winning strategy is championship-related stuff.
PSI, where the teams are being told there's no grey area here. You've got to stick to the parameters. So that is how Gasly managed to get his way past Carlos.
It's a good move from Gasly.
Grand Prix. He's running in 8th place.
He's had to defend very hard there. Verstappen is 11 seconds behind Hamilton, and Hamilton's tyres, according to amazingly weird SHIT, is absolutely dead.
Pass an MOT with those, would you?
It's AWS! It's AWS! Sainz been passed now by Alonso, and I think at this point Ferrari are just going to be hoping this Grand Prix will be over soon. Unfortunately, Yuki Tsunoda is 5 seconds behind Charles Leclerc. Hamilton's really going to need to be careful on his car. Verstappen's really closed up in that last part of the track. And Verstappen doing a video. So Verstappen's apparently having issues with his microphone. It should be better now apparently. But he is closing up massively to Bottas. About a second lap quicker. And he will be on the back of him by about lap 42, 43, 44. He's 7.5 seconds back from him. Sebastian Vettel finally pits after 38 laps on those hards. I mean, that was amazing tyre saving from him. Sergio Perez is just going to be there in case Hamilton and Bottas both end up pitting. Team ready for Hamilton.
Right, scratch.
And Verstappen's radio's got a bit of an issue. Seb Vettel's had a slow pit stop. Sainz is now ahead of him, as is Leclerc, and the race is about to get more and more interesting. Sainz has now been passed by. Hold on, why are they showing a replay of this? That happened ages ago. That happened a few.
So that is not a good day, are they?
No. To put it simply, no. There we go. That's better. So, Hamilton is 10 seconds ahead.
Verstappen is only 7.5 seconds behind him.
This race, the gap.
They're just going to go to the end now, aren't they? Hamilton and Bottas.
They're going to have to, but they're going to have to be so careful on their tyres. That's the thing. Verstappen's probably got amazing pace. 7 tenths quicker. I mean, 14 times 7.
Yeah, he is going to do it.
Verstappen's just going to have to be careful on his tyres. That's the only
Hamilton's put the hammer down.
He has, I mean, look at that. He's gone 1.5 seconds quicker on that last lap. Verstappen's just putting somewhere.
8.5 seconds to Hamilton there.
Yeah, so.
And he's 3/4 of a second quicker.
Yeah, about 7 tenths. So if you did 14 times 7, 4.2, 8.4, 9.6. I think, yeah, Verstappen, if he kept at this pace, he'd win the race by 2 tenths. Everyone's having mic problems. Everyone. Leclerc's pitting. Oh. And then they're back into the old-fashioned game without talking to your engineer.
They really do struggle with their tyres at the end, Mercedes-Benz. Perez is within striking distance as well.
Yeah. It's not because we're right by an airport, is it, that we're having a bit of problem with the radio.
He's going to the pits here.
Pardon?
The trackside.
Didn't we just go to the pits here?
Leclerc.
Oh, fuck, can't it? Still his red car flashing in front of my eyes.
Yeah, he's pitted twice. Meanwhile, Hamilton and Bottas have only pitted once, that's why.
He's on half a second quicker now. Still enough.
I don't think it would be.
Last lap, only half a second I should say, faster for Max Verstappen. That then makes it a little
Saying almost identical times.
to get past Hamilton.
Get up to the 10th.
Yeah, but he pitted. He's pitted, so that's where he should be for the rest of the race, maybe even better. So look.
You could beat him, Lossie. We could even faster than Sainz.
Yeah. Verstappen has got to find a way to get good pace and also manage his tyres. If I was Max, I would be asking well, obviously because he's got mic issues he can't, but and nah. Amazingly weird. AWS stands for amazingly weird. Amazingly wonder. Say hi to your dad for me. That was from someone in the chat, Josh. And
Hi, Josh.
And he says hi.
Oh, I tell you what, these last 5 laps are going to be interesting.
The next 5 laps, you mean, not the last 5 laps? Or do you mean the last 5 laps?
Last 5 laps. You have vibration?
He doesn't have vibrations apparently, but look at that, I mean, Verstappen's picked up the pace.
Wow, from half a second up to 1.2, or is Hamilton slowing that lap?
I think.
1:38.1.
I mean, we need to have a look at what his last 4 laps are to
Yeah.
know that. I mean,
Get the laps up on the board.
of course, typical FOM, the one time we need it, it's not coming up. Oh, Hamilton's radio.
Again.
And you can see the tyres are not
Looking great.
great.
Is that what you said? Not looking great, yeah.
It doesn't feel great, and they do not look great. For once, I can agree with Hamilton on that. It's under 7 seconds now. All Verstappen needs to do is be half a second quicker for the rest of the race, and he'll win, and he'll beat Hamilton. This is gonna be very, very interesting.
Still grey clouds hovering over the circuit here. The risk of rain was only 10%, but it's just been one of those muggy days. We had a rain shower earlier in the day, and just the feeling when you stand outside.
Formula 3 race was very wet.
Just looks really
So far away as
so far staying away in the race.
So the last 4 laps will be very difficult. So Verstappen 8 lap all medium now. Yeah, I've no fronts anymore, so it is difficult.
Bottas said he has no more fronts anymore, so it's going to be difficult to get to the end of the race. I do think Perez will. I think Perez could win this race.
Do you think so?
Yeah, because Verstappen will eventually run out of tyres, so will Hamilton and
Nah,
Bottas.
Verstappen won't run out of time.
He's on mediums, Dad. The mediums do not last as long as the hards, and Hamilton was struggling on the hards after 19 laps. So the Red Bull must have much better tyre wear.
So Verstappen's 2.5 seconds behind Bottas, so it's at 6.5.
To Hamilton, yeah, 6.5 to Hamilton.
But Perez is 5 seconds behind Verstappen.
But Perez is good on his tyres. He can push right at the end of the race and he'll be fine. Perez is a tyre god. Him saving tyres is like putting shampoo over the spots on your face. It usually goes away because of it and it becomes
Down to 1.8 now.
Can we have the race order, please? Of course.
Perez predicted to catch it in the last 4 laps.
So it's Hamilton, then Bottas, then Verstappen, who's on new tyres. Then it's Perez, Norris, Ricciardo, Gasly, Alonso, Sainz, Vettel, Tsunoda, Stroll, Russell, Ocon, Giovinazzi, Leclerc, who's had to pit again, Raikkonen, Latifi, Schumacher, and Mazepin. We've had no DNFs in this race, and at the moment Sergio Perez and Max Verstappen are hunting down both Mercs to try and get first and, I'm guessing, third place. And at the moment Hamilton would lead the championship. However, Verstappen has got plenty of tyre life left, apparently on his mediums, because the Mercedes is not good at tyre saving, unlike the Red Bull, which is. And I think another reason for that is because Perez has helped with the development of the car and helped with how to improve
Next lap he's got DRS. Verstappen's got DRS next lap.
on Bottas.
And Bottas.
And Bottas is only 3 seconds behind Hamilton, 2-3 seconds behind
10
Hamilton.
laps to go, Liam. 10 laps to go.
And then this is when the French Grand Prix will actually become exciting for once.
Paul Ricard, here we come.
Dad, you're not from Liverpool.
Oh.
And Verstappen's in within a second. He's dropped out again, but he'll be back within a second in a second now. How many times did I say second there? Anyway. Bottas is only 5 tenths ahead of 6 tenths ahead of Verstappen now, around about anyway. By the end of this corner exit he'll be only 7.5 tenths, but Verstappen will close up a little bit, I can imagine. Which he has. And it's down probably to much less than 6 tenths, probably about 5.5. Yeah, it's coming down, the gap's coming down. Verstappen will get him on the main straight. And whoa. So basically, just save the hell out of your tyres, otherwise you're not going to do well by the end of this race, is what Hamilton's being told. 5 seconds is the gap between Hamilton and Verstappen, but all Verstappen needs to do is go 2 tenths a lap quicker.
It goes DRS open. I think he's close enough.
No, he's not. He's definitely not. If he's he won't overtake him. We'll get him in the Mistral Straight. That's the thing. In the Mistral Straight, you need to be within about 7 tenths to get past, and he will surely be within that. That's a lie. That's a lie. 7 tenths.
Well, somebody's lying.
Well, actually, no. It's probably a bit delayed. That
Probably
radio
faster.
message. That radio message is definitely delayed. So it's probably a bit untrue. 8 tenths between Bottas and Verstappen.
You get past him, Verstappen. You can't sit behind him, buddy.
Verstappen will surely
get this lap. Come on,
he'll surely
get
get
this
him.
On the medium tyres that are fresher as Valtteri Bottas.
Yes, he's going to get him.
I don't think he will, or will he?
Can't get past the Mercedes.
Oh, Bottas!
Ah, he's got to give it up, is he?
Bottas has ran deep. Here comes Verstappen. Here comes Verstappen. Here comes Verstappen. And second place.
Verstappen's got inside line.
And Verstappen's up to second. What a move it is from Verstappen. Great strategy from Red Bull. Bottas tried to hold it around the outside. It didn't work. And now into second goes Verstappen. And Perez is now released to try his best to catch Bottas. And then this is when Verstappen will just have to match Hamilton's pace. Otherwise he won't win the race. And it's Bahrain in reversal, isn't it?
Lost a lot of time.
Sorry, Spain in reversal, because Spain, Hamilton did 2 stops, Verstappen did 1, and Hamilton won the race and Verstappen didn't. And it's vice versa this time. You can see Hamilton, he's just gone out of picture there. There he is. He's just lapped Leclerc and he's about to lap Giovinazzi. And Verstappen, well, he's got 8 laps to catch him. 9 laps, sorry. And he should get him. This is Bottas did not need to do that. If he had just braked at the right time, he would have stayed ahead for a bit longer. But he was basically.
You try to look at his mirrors like 4 at the same time, and he might have just got a wee bit of cock up and just like he braked up too much later.
Yeah, he screwed up a little bit, Dad. We don't see that.
And that reduced his exit speed.
Exactly. He didn't have any momentum, and Verstappen just had momentum. I actually thought Bottas was gonna hit Verstappen. But yeah, I mean, Bottas is never holding that around the outside. You must have incredible straight line speed and incredible balls to do that. Verstappen's pace is not as is actually
half a second, half a lap.
4.5 seconds is what the gap is at the moment. It's coming down. It's now 4.4, but keep in mind Verstappen needs to clear traffic. He has to clear traffic. There he is.
Blue flag, so it'll be fine.
I think I think if I was the stewards, I would call it early so Verstappen could get through on the straight, even though he probably wouldn't be within a second of them by the straight.
You can decide that. The only ones that can decide the outcome of this race now seems that Hamilton and Verstappen and maybe Bottas and Perez. Paul di Resta, to you.
And where is he? Yes, there he is. Bottas is getting angry because he said he knew it was going to be a 2-stop and that they were ignoring him. I could understand that frustration there, because Bottas was right and Mercedes were wrong. You might as well have got Bottas to be Hamilton's strategist.
Perez is going to pass Bottas.
And I did say Perez would have a good...
I'll get Toto's face! He's got his strategies all wrong today!
Not him, the actual strategists themselves. That's the thing though, Verstappen's not closing up to Hamilton that quickly. It's still 4.6. Hamilton's tyre life will eventually evaporate.
Perez is within striking distance of Bottas now. He's going to get him the next lap. So Bottas is going to go off the podium.
However, Verstappen will lose the championship lead to Hamilton. As things stand, and he's not gaining anything. Verstappen needs to start pushing harder. You have to risk things. And Verstappen's just, he's gaining, but it's slow progress. That Red Bull car through there is nowhere near as stable as the Merc. But he gains. I mean, that's a lap car in front of him, Dad. So he's going to need to clear a lap car.
There you go, there's Perez going to get him here.
Surely he'll get him. If he doesn't, then I would be very surprised. And
who's coming in?
It's not going to be Hamilton, it'll be Bottas that comes in.
Just trying to get the fastest lap?
Of course. No, it's... Or are they... this is interesting.
Nope, to that lap.
That's the thing. Look, still 4.7. I am very sure Hamilton's going to keep this line now.
Bottas.
Oh, lock up. Big lock up there as the team radio gets played. Big lock up.
5 it's up to now, but I must have
I did say Verstappen was going to have no tyre life at the end. And I think that's right. Although Hamilton's doing a great job at saving his tyres, Verstappen's got to go harder, otherwise he's not going to...
Look at the wind.
Verstappen
You know what the
has...
wind brings? Rain.
Right, in a way. But
Hamilton's put the fit down.
exactly, Verstappen cannot clear that traffic. He cannot clear Leclerc or Giovinazzi at the moment.
His race engineer said there's going to be a bit of pain. Final 6 laps, but we're getting to that now. And he's got
Oh, he's cleared them, so
cleared them,
now,
yeah.
now Verstappen's in clean air to push as hard as he can. Although he's if anything, he's losing
Aye, he's
time.
slower on that lap because he's behind the traffic.
4.8 now, 4.6. Oh my goodness, it is coming down.
Well, he's got clear traffic now because look, he was actually slower than Hamilton when he was behind Leclerc and what's his face?
Giovinazzi. And he has a whole 3 or so seconds, 2 seconds to Ocon. There's Ocon there. And remember what happened last time Verstappen and Ocon met each other while Verstappen was fighting for the win? Sorry everyone, that was very loud, my apologies. From Slide for Dad, it was some loud for the viewers.
Come on, Perez has lost. He's not even into DRS now.
Exactly, it's Bottas.
He's had to move back a bit because he's probably getting too much draft off the back of Bottas' car.
And look at that, Verstappen's closing up big time.
3.7 now! I'll make another beer.
No, Dad! Can you add me on Xbox? Jamie Burnett says, if you haven't. I don't have an Xbox One, so yeah.
Hamilton just lost.
And Hamilton is losing so much time. I wish your dad... I wish my dad was as interested in F1 as your dad. Oh, I interested in him. Can you race it? Oh, please. Yeah, I haven't checked the chat massively, so sorry everyone for that. To be honest, Dad was sort of into F1 when he was younger, but he couldn't really watch it because he didn't have time. He watched the motorbike racing. Oh my, Jamie, how do you? Cheers to your dad is what Josh says because you're interested in motorsport. And Perez is caught right up to Bottas. Verstappen's getting still. It
smell bad, Wesley?
Yeah, it still doesn't smell that great. It still smells the exact same.
Good, so you should. You're 13.
Oh.
3.6.
Yeah, but that was when.
3.3.
Yeah, but that's a delayed radio message. That was a wee bit ago. That's Perez right on the tail of
He's going to
Bottas
get
still.
Just Perez, just take your time.
Perez, that's the thing. Verstappen's gaining so much on Hamilton. 5 laps to go.
Oh, it's under 3 seconds.
5 laps to go. All Verstappen needs to do is just stay half a second quicker than Hamilton per lap, and he'll get him.
Oh, that's 5 laps going to be so interesting.
Ferrari aren't even in the points anymore. Sainz
No
has
way.
been passed by Stroll. It has been
Vettel and Stroll behind each other, that's fine.
It's been a disaster
9-10.
for
Vettel's
Ferrari.
going to catch Alonso's did well, isn't he?
Yeah. Perez
Alpine.
is closing right up. Is he going to go for it?
Yes, he's.
Bottas. Oh, Bottas has done the same thing as last time, but he's gone a little bit less deep.
You'll get him now, though.
Perez had to bog down on the exit.
Aye, he had to shut off.
But here we go. Here comes Checo Perez. He's going for it.
Yay!
He's going round the outside. What a move! 3rd place for Perez. And here comes Max Verstappen. He's closing up 2 seconds now.
Wow! He gained a second that last lap.
And Bottas has got nothing left in the tank. Absolutely
He's got
nothing.
no front end left neither.
Exactly.
He's trying to fight him, look.
Oh, wide there from Bottas a little bit. And now Perez can just chill and be happy with 3rd place.
2.6, there's a glitch on that screen there. He went from 2 to 2.6.
Yeah,
3 laps to go, could be struggling here, dog.
I don't think so. This is a replay of the Perez overtake. He goes right around the
Red Bull
outside.
first and second, listen to that for a long time.
Yeah, you got a point there. I mean, it would have been a 1-2 in Azerbaijan if hadn't happened. Puncture.
Yeah.
But Verstappen's 2.4. There's 4 laps to go. He needs to gain 6 tenths per lap to win the race. And yeah, he's definitely close. It's even less than that now.
He's still got the fastest lap though.
Exactly, but he'll be 2 points behind. 4
2
laps,
seconds is now.
4 laps remaining. 2 sec. It's switching between 2 and 2.3 seconds.
Hamilton's got better
1.9.
sectors.
1.9.
What's that? Oh, you can see him now. See,
Yeah.
you see him in your sights. When you see him, I think that makes it a bit better, doesn't it?
Yeah, because then you can be more confident. I mean, look at that. The only lap in the last 4 that he wasn't quicker than Hamilton was when he was clearing traffic. And this could go right down to the wire. Let's have a look at this.
Just had the upper edge, but obviously Mercedes had to play it long because they pulled that card. That was a card that lost them out at Barcelona, so I don't think they wanted to see
Hamilton still battling Verstappen. 1.5 seconds it is now. By the Mistral Straight, Verstappen might have DRS on this next lap. Surely it's going to be a win for Verstappen.
Hamilton can see him in the mirrors.
3 laps to go. 5 tenths per lap for Verstappen is what he needs. He needs to lap 5 tenths quicker per lap, and you'll get him.
Verstappen has another lap, like he did on lap 50. He'll be in DRS range.
Precisely, but if he has a lap on lap 50, if he on lap 50 was 7 tenths quicker than Hamilton, and Coffey's just mentioning how if he has the same lap times as he did on the last lap, which was lap 50.
Last lap for Lewis, 37.9. Gap is at 1.6. I'll leave you to it. 3 laps to go.
I'll leave you to it. Good man.
Yes. So
Good man. Leave him to it.
JP has left Max to it. All Verstappen needs to lap is a 37.4. If Hamilton does the same lap times, he's now within
He's in
DRS
DRS
range of him. Surely this is going to be a win for Red Bull.
A 1-2 for Red Bull.
And look at that,
Russell's 12th.
Russell's past Tsunoda. Wow, that's fantastic. Imagine if there was an incident ahead of him and he...
Leclerc 16th, Sainz 11th.
I mean, this has been a disaster for Ferrari, but for Red Bull, they're going to be absolutely dancing in the Amber Lounge tonight.
And we'll be dancing with them.
Yeah, we will, because Germany won yesterday. But 6 tenths between Verstappen and Hamilton, 8 tenths now. Through that part of the track, Verstappen just isn't as quick as Hamilton. But on the main straight,
You've got 2 straights to do it and 2 laps to do it in.
4 straights
Wow.
technically. And look at that,
That's
DRS.
definitely for a second.
He's within DRS range, he's got the DRS. We'll get the onboard any second now from Verstappen. He's within half a second of him now. And under investigation, Perez and Bottas. I don't know why that would be.
Why is that? Oh, because Bottas sprayed in front of him.
Ah, that'll be what it's for. Turn 11 incident, so that would be at the sheet. Yeah, that would be on the very
He
fast
moved too
corner.
many times, just as that corner
I mean,
thing was under the DRS.
Even if they gave him a penalty, he wouldn't do anything since he's 50 seconds clear of Norris. But
That's mental, 50 seconds. 51 seconds. Jeez.
yes, Hamilton beats
That's a
Verstappen
minute.
still. Here comes Verstappen.
Come on, Max!
Here comes
Come
Verstappen.
on, Max!
He's going for the inside.
Get in there, Max!
He's taking the lead. Verstappen into the lead of the 2021 French Grand Prix at the Circuit Paul Ricard. And Hamilton loses the lead. An incredible strategy from Red Bull to win this race. Lewis Hamilton surely isn't going to be able to fight back from that. And that was a fantastic overtake. And this fantastic strategy from Red Bull.
As Christian Horner would say, get in there, Max.
That was Bonington. That's Pete Bonington that says that. Well done, Max, is what Christian Horner says. Not get in there, Max.
Should see.
Yeah, we'll see. But Perez
Get the fit doing. Get the fit doing. She's not got DRS in these straights in the last lap.
And this is the nose camera of Verstappen's overtake, and it's nice and clean.
Hamilton's got to admit he just didn't have the pace there.
But it's not even his fault. It's Mercedes' fault for ignoring Bottas's calls to. Oh. Simply lovely is what his engineer said, because that's what Verstappen said that once. Simply lovely. Simply lovely. As Perez is keeping pace with Hamilton.
1.2 he's now got.
And here we are on the final lap of the French Grand Prix, and this has been an absolutely fantastic race considering it's Paul Ricard. I mean, I'd give this race a solid 8 out of 10 for its strategy and its incredible race. I think Red Bull's goal was just to make this race entertaining. And Max Verstappen is on the Mistral straight now for the final time he's heading down there. And it's a fantastic result for Red Bull, it's a fantastic result for Verstappen.
1-3 Red Bull, hopefully.
And
No punctures.
I mean, fingers crossed, of course. Well, Dad's
Oh, Toto, you must be gutted.
Yeah,
Your strategy's got it all wrong today, son.
exactly. He'll probably give them an absolute battering. He probably doesn't condone capital punishment, but he'll probably give them an absolute... He'll tell them off. He'll absolutely tell them off. But absolutely fantastic performance from Max Verstappen and from Red Bull. Red Bull strategists yet again showing how talented they are.
100% on the ball.
And here he is heading round the penultimate turn, and now round the final corner. And here comes Max Verstappen on the main straight. Just in front of him is Carlos Sainz. But Max Verstappen is the winner of the 2021 French Grand Prix at Paul Ricard. Second place is Lewis Hamilton, and third place is Sergio Perez. And I think Red Bull will be absolutely delighted with that performance.
Between Max Verstappen and Red Bull, what a day for them. Well done to you. Well done.
They absolutely deserve this.
Between strategy and a good car and a good driver, well done.
Exactly. This has been an absolutely splendid day of motorsport.
So Red Bull got first, third in the F1 and second in the MotoGP. So well done, Red Bull.
Oh yes. And Red Bull have learned from Spain 2021 and Hungary 2019, and they've done the dummy on Mercedes. They have swapped the roles around, and absolutely splendid. The battle's still going on here for fifth place between sixth place between Ricciardo, Gasly and Alonso, but I don't think there'll be any overtakes.
So we've got Dutch national anthem.
And that's an absolutely fantastic race. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I'll run through the full race order, and then we shall finish up there. So Max Verstappen takes his 13th.
In the end, he was just under 3 seconds ahead of Hamilton.
And then second place is Lewis Hamilton in what was, we can all agree, a disappointing day for Mercedes on strategy. Red Bull do have the quicker car, and Mercedes do well considering.
You won the last race enough, you hadn't blown your tyre apart.
Yeah, and it wasn't even his fault.
Nope.
And not only does Verstappen win the race, but he gets fastest lap as well. And an absolutely splendid result for Red Bull. Verstappen's issue at turn 1 has been absolutely redeemed.
You know, it's a little bit payback for earlier in the year. It's horrible being in the lead of a race. And, you know, there's a long way to go to the end, but we pulled the trigger and went for the two-stop, and, you know, thankfully it paid off. So, you know, phenomenal Grand Prix, and great from Sergio as well, making that one-stop work. So, fantastic team performance today. Christian, did you have to give the go-ahead?
And Christian Horner says that Max Verstappen did an excellent job today, so did his strategy. And he said that Sergio Perez did an absolutely fantastic job on the one-stop. Again, courtesy of Kamui Kobayashi, teaching him his incredible tyre saving skills. And out of everyone in that race, who would you say is your driver of the day, Dad?
So that's what we did, and it paid off today. So,
I think it was the Max. Or Sergio.
Yeah, it'd be difficult for me because
they both started, what, first and third?
They started first and fourth.
First and fourth. But I tell you what, Red Bull did a blinder in signing Perez.
Exactly.
Definitely.
I mean,
that's definitely their number 2 driver.
Red Bull's issues have disappeared.
Just look at that. That was beautiful sitting there.
Red Bull's issues have disappeared quicker than Jimmy Hoffa did. That's a mob. That's a joke. Okay, that's a joke. By the way, it's fair enough to make that joke because Jimmy Hoffa did kill a lot of people. He was a mobster, and he went missing, and he's never been found. But there he is. There's Max Verstappen winning the French Grand Prix, and Red Bull are going to be absolutely delighted with that.
That's a good pair of teammates. Look
at that. Look at that.
You wouldn't see Vettel. You wouldn't see Vettel and Leclerc doing that, did you?
Exactly. I mean, that's absolutely fantastic. There's the all the PR guys from Red Bull taking shots of them. And I think Verstappen and Checo will be delighted. If you're wondering why they're not wearing masks after they come out of the car, they don't need to in France. So guess what? A lot of the interviews were done without masks.
So because they're so far clear of COVID.
Exactly, and because and because Franz Kovacic.
Is this the one they've got to jump onto a buggy to go to the?
Oh yeah, yeah.
To go to the podium.
Hamilton will be disappointed with that, but then again, it is second place.
It's fine.
He'll be fine with that.
He's fine. It's still in the title race.
And as things stand, Verstappen will lead the championship by quite a margin. Mercedes have learned today that Red Bull strategists have well and truly figured everything out.
But one thing you're not going to hear today is you're the best crowd.
Yeah, because the crowd are back. But yeah, I mean, that race at Paul Ricard, considering it's Paul Ricard, that was an absolutely fantastic race.
Yes.
And it's Max's girlfriend and his dad.
His dad, yeah.
And his mentor, Helmut Marko.
Helmut, yeah.
And
Joss.
And there's Sergio Perez. And another there's Max, that's his engineer, basically the one who told him, you know, I'm going to be quiet, you just do your thing, I'll turn off my headset.
That's good for him to say that, actually.
Exactly.
I'll be quiet now, just go and do it.
And Hamilton showing respect to Verstappen there.
They got on fine anyway.
And
Max and Lewis.
Yeah, they have a bit of banter together. But it's a bit like Seven Lewis in a way.
Yeah, okay. At the end of the day, you've got to.
It's not
life's too short.
Exactly. And yeah, another good result for Checo. That's another podium for him. That's his second podium in a row, and as if this season couldn't get any better for him, he's extended his gap to Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, and Bottas and the rest of the pack behind him. And this is, look, he is now 8 points clear of Lando Norris, which is crucial towards the title fight.
Right.
And look at the gaps now. 12, 15. Red Bull are a whole race victory ahead of Mercedes. If Mercedes win with Hamilton, Verstappen finishes 4th, let's see, Perez finishes 5th, that would be 26 for Hamilton. But anyway, they're having their own little chat about the
different sponsors. Look at the different sponsors.
That's the thing, Checo's got his own sponsors.
Wow, I didn't know that.
That's the thing, Checo is the modern day equivalent of a good
Right, Max,
driver.
get your tag heuer watch on.
And Max not needing to wear a mask. And there's the guy from Honda. He was the guy that was on the podium when Red Bull took their first one up with the new Honda engine, with the Honda engine at Austria. And he was the constructors representative. And yeah, I mean, hats off to the Red Bull team today. They were absolutely splendid. And yeah,
Lewis should be happy with second.
He probably will be, but I think the only people he has a right to be mad at is the strategists for not pitting him, and Bottas should be really, really angry with him because they didn't listen to him. Bottas would have done a better job at strategy than the boys from Mercedes, and that is a fact. And the man who's doing the post-race interviews is a man who has, of course, driven at the French Grand Prix before.
Martin Brundle, here we go.
That as much as we did?
Towards the end, yes. At the beginning, it was super difficult out there with the wind. So one lap you had an okay balance, and then the next lap you were just sliding everywhere. So really difficult to keep the car stable. And yeah, I think once we made the first pit stop, then you could clearly see on the hard tires they were pushing me hard from behind. But then I
would contact Max Verstappen. You were pushing me hard from behind. That is the title of you and Kelly PK's tape. You were pushing me hard from behind.
Right enough, it's 13.
You thought the same thing, didn't you?
Just tried to correct it, but it just kept going. So.
This is a big statement for you to be the Mercedes here in terms of the championship the rest of the season.
As you can see, the whole race we were fighting each other, so I think it will be like this for the rest of the season.
Well done.
You hope so, and I hope it will. Can't wait for it to
Second
listen in
place, Lewis, you did your best. Somehow you were finding some speed and some pace out of those tyres towards the end, but it wasn't quite enough.
No. Congrats to Max. He did a great job today. They just had the better power, strength all weekend, and I think just considering that we had such a difficult Friday, I'm really happy with today's result. I mean, of course we didn't win and we were in the lead, but I had no tyres left at the end, so yeah, unfortunately lost the position, but still it was a good race.
It was a great race to watch. You two head to head. If that's what we're going to see this season, it's going to be one of the all-time great seasons.
Yeah, I mean, we've got to find some pace, that's for sure. You've seen that most of the time we lost today was just on the straights, so we've got to definitely
Honda
dig
picked
deep,
it
try
up.
and figure out where
So
that
Red
is,
Bulls,
and
yeah.
whether it's power or drag. But, you know, we've still got a good package, and I'm not really sure how we lost position today, because
The undercut was hugely powerful.
It was hugely, right?
It wasn't just hugely powerful. It was basically like turning up to a dance party with a boombox, a pair of headphones when there's already a DJ there. Is that a bad analogy, or?
The only option I really had was to stay out, otherwise I would be pitting. Because he's again
What was
undercutting
that
me,
voice
so
crack from you
he'll
there?
just come out ahead and I wouldn't be able to pass it too quick on the straights. So the only option was to stay out as long as possible and hope the tyres hold together.
But they didn't, but you live for another day. Next weekend.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well done.
This is going to be an interesting race in Austria anyway, and here comes the third place
You said, Joe, here,
Sergio
take off.
Perez, my opinion, driver of the day.
Another podium, Sergio. Congratulations. Thank you. So, a bit steady at the start. You kept your tyres well, went long, and it played out beautifully.
Yeah, it paid out, you know. It was important to stay within the leaders. The first 5 to 10 laps, the car was pretty much undrivable with the wind. We obviously ran less downforce today, so it was pretty hard to keep up behind. But then, probably as the wind was getting calmer and the track was getting better,
Sergio, you're
I started
fucking
to pick up
overtaking.
my rhythm. We managed to go quite long on the first stint, and I think that really paid off. Towards the end, I think the deck was quite a lot higher than expected today. So yeah, I think as a whole we did a great race, great strategy from the team, and I'm happy that we won the race today and good points for the team.
You've answered all my questions. Well done again.
Well done, Red
And that
Bull.
was an absolutely fantastic performance from
Well done, Red Bull.
Sergio Perez and from Max Verstappen and from all the Red Bull strategists who were, in my opinion, they were the drivers of the day. Not so much the drivers, but the strategists were the ones that played the crucial part in who was going to win the race and who was going to get on the podium in today's race. And it was a very entertaining race. Considering it's Paul Ricard, I would say that was one of the best races of the year so far.
I'd agree with you there.
I mean, action all the way until the last lap, and yeah, it was a very entertaining race. So, thank you everyone for watching. Thank you, Dad, for coming on, of course. And we'll be back. We should be back next week for the Austrian Grand Prix, and then the Styrian Grand Prix.
Styrian Grand Prix, yeah.
And then the Austrian Grand Prix, and then of course we will have a 2-week break. And we won't be commentating on the race after that because a vlog will come out about 4 or 5 days after that because we'll be going to the race after Austria. Britain!
Get in there.
COVID friendly.
We'll see if we can. I'll take my laptop down to
Yeah,
Silverstone and we can do it from the.
Yeah, we could do a like post qualifying and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Chat about what the atmosphere was like and that sort of thing.
Yeah,
But,
I think that's